This podcast is brought to you by the Maryland State Library Agency. The MSLA podcast features presenters from statewide youth programs, as well as learning opportunities for library staff and resources for patrons of the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled.
The following is a presentation of the Technology User Group at the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled. For more information about the Technology User Group, including upcoming sessions or archived recordings from previous sessions, please visit our website, lbpd.maryland.gov. That's L, B as in Bravo, P as in Paul, D as in Delta, .maryland.gov. Good morning, one and all, and welcome to another edition of the Technology User Group, as today we are looking at iOS games, which should be a lot of fun, right? It's July. It's time to enjoy yourself, maybe with the weather being particularly hot. Maybe not the best time to go out. Maybe you do want to stay inside and play some entertaining games, and then we're going to be looking at that today. And when you talk about games should be fun. They should not require a lot of thought, other than strategy, of course. Should not require a lot of work. It should be something that you're able to do relatively easy. We're going to try to make that possible today. Also, when you're talking about games, you know that there's literally thousands of them on the App Store. But we know from experience, if you've tried playing a few of those games, that some of them are not particularly accessible. And in fact, you'll probably find that many of them are not accessible from both a blindness perspective and low vision. They can be challenging because a lot of games are sort of time oriented, and when you're low vision, time is something that you really don't have a lot of, right? So before you play a game, or thinking about looking for a game to play, the best place to start is probably applevis.com. That's A, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, L, E as in Every, V as in Victory, I, S as in Samantha.com. And they have a section under the apps section. There's a section devoted to games. And in that game section, there are, at last I saw, 488 games that are profiles. Now, some of these profiles took place many years ago, so they may not be valid now, but it is a good place to start. And it will kind of, you click on the name of the game, it's going to kind of, some will talk about all the buttons are visible, how accessible it was, this and that. But sometimes you get a little glimpse into how the game is played. So just to give you some idea about the initial page of the AppleVis apps for gaming. These games, there's 21 Blitz, 7 Little Words, 94 Seconds, A Blind Legend, A Dark Room, A Detective's Demise, A Few Minutes of Glory, A Western Drama, Academy of Disaster, Accessible 2048, Accessible Hangman, Accessible Letter Soup, Accessible Elronics, Accessible Minesweeper, Accessible Othello, Accessible Simon, Accessible Sudoku, Accessible Word Ladders, Advent, Adventures to Fate. Adventures to Fate, there's a bunch of Adventures to the Fate. Let's leave it at that. Adventures of Karna, AEA, Fairs of the Court, Africa Empire, Age of Dynasties, Agent of Adventure, AI Dungeon, Airline Manager. So, alt frequency, alter ego, amazing, anagram twist, ancient board games, which is really interesting, Animal Crossing, Apex Patrol, Audio Escape Room, Audio Game Hub, Audio Rally Racing, Audio Cat, Audio Wizards. So as you can see, lots of games just in the numbers in the A. So a breakdown of what they might say. Here's a game called Zebulon, which was submitted back in 2013. So who knows if it's still valid, and last updated in 2017. It says, description of the app. Journey through space and uncover the secrets of the asteroid Zebulon. Pilot a spacecraft with 2 loyal sidekicks and your pet goldfish Henry. Travel to the moon, meet some interesting characters, and then blast off to the asteroid belt. Along the way, make the right choices to discover the secrets of Zebulon and your own path. If Douglas Adams had written a game book, it might not be entirely unlike this. And it says version 1.01, free or paid, it's free. It says Apple Watch supported is not known. Accessibility comments, accessible is a text-based choices, voiceover performance, voiceover reads all page elements. Button labeling, all buttons are clearly labeled, always helpful. Usability, the app is fully accessible with voiceover and easy to navigate and use. And there you go. So you get a description, you kind of know what's going on. 488 of these. So, entertaining, right? Well, we're going to take a moment, and I asked Courtney what her favorite games were, and I had asked her that for the newsletter that we do called the My Technology News. Incidentally, if you'd like to receive the My Technology News in your inbox, then feel free to contact me and we'll make that happen. But here's what Courtney had to say about her favorite games.
All about accessible games for iDevices. By Courtney Curran. With a plethora of accessible games, both free and paid on the market today, you can find games for the young or the young at heart. In this article, 3 of my favorite games will be discussed in detail, along with several runners-up. My first selection is an education game, but it is still quite entertaining. It is called Ballyland Magic Plus. It was designed to help children learn voiceover gestures on iOS by helping the Ballylanders perform their magic tricks. This is a story game. The Ballylanders are the characters in the game. This game is meant for young children, but I could see where it might be helpful for someone who is just beginning to learn voiceover on iOS. It incorporates gestures such as split tap, 3-finger slick right/left, single finger drags, split tap, among others. Ballyland Magic Plus is a paid app, and is available in the App Store through this link. https://apps.apple.com/o/app/ballyland-magic-plus/ID 15100396991. Note, this app is self-voicing, so voiceover should be turned off upon opening it. If you are a more advanced voiceover user, and Ballyland Magic Plus is not quite what you are looking for when it comes to games, I have you covered. The second game I would like to talk about is Dice World. Dice World is actually a group of games, but they are all in one app. Dice World includes 6 dice games: Farkle, Pig, Yahtzee, Ballot, Threes, and 1-4-24. Dice World allows you to play online with other players from around the world, or if you would rather not play with a human player, you can play with bots. Also, Dice World has daily tournaments that single players can participate in, and whoever is in the top 20 slots will be awarded a prize of bonus rolls. Dice World does have bonus games, where a player would be allowed an extra roll of the dice, but this can be enabled or disabled in settings. Dice World is a free game, available in the App Store, but they do have in-app purchases for custom-colored dice, sound packs, and bonus rolls if you choose to purchase them. There is also a social center where you can view stats of other Dice World players and challenge them to games. You can also search for a player by username, or you can challenge a random opponent. The link to Dice World is https://itunes.apple.com/app/dice-world-farkle-yahtzee-ballot/ID 553269986 MT =8. The third and final game I would like to cover is Trivia Crack. Trivia Crack is a modern spin on Trivial Pursuit. You answer questions in several categories: art, entertainment, science, history, geography, and sports. Every 3 questions you answer correctly, you can answer a question for a crown in one of those 6 categories. You can choose which category you answer this question in, and if you get it right, you win a crown, which brings you one step closer to winning the game. You must get all 6 crowns to win. As for opponents, you can link your Facebook profile with Trivia Crack, and it will show you any of your Facebook contacts who have played Trivia Crack. Or you can challenge a random opponent, or search by username, if you know the specific user's name of the player you would like to challenge. There are free and paid versions of Trivia Crack. The free one contains ads. Also, whichever version of Trivia Crack you choose, they do have a shop where you can buy extras, like right answers, coins, and double chances. Trivia Crack is accessible, but the interface could be easier to navigate. The link to Trivia Crack in the App Store is https://apps.apple.com/a/app/trivia-crack-no-ads/ID 723795263. A couple of other accessible games which are quite popular include Blindfold Tap and Swipe, a Bop It style game, Baby Adopter, a baby care sim game, and BitLife, a life sim game.
Would you like to get the Technology User Group presentation every month with little effort? Just subscribe to the Maryland State Library Agency podcast using your favorite podcast catcher. Then each month you will automatically receive informative and inspiring presentation. Remember, you can also listen on your smartphone or speaker. Say something like, "Alexa, play Maryland State Library Agency podcast."
Well, you'll find that Dice World actually comes up quite a lot in conversation amongst people who game. So apparently Dice World must be a lot of fun, right? Well, I have to admit that I don't play a lot of iOS games. So probably something that I should do from time to time. I understand also that the blindfold games are a lot of fun that require tokens. And so if you actually get a chance to get a blindfold game and get a special discount on either lifelong membership, if it's offered, or a cheap price for tokens, it's probably something that you might want to take advantage of. And the blindfold games are actually quite easy to play, which is important, because sometimes you do need a tutorial on how to play these games. And that kind of brings us to what we will call the main portion of our presentation today, as Brittany will demonstrate how to play 5 iOS games of her that she enjoys, and as well as some additional comments from Brittany. So without further ado, here's Brittany on her take for iPhone and all these fantastic games.
You know, it's no secret that the modern smartphone and tablet is almost as powerful, well, at least as far as software is concerned, as the average desktop or laptop computer. If you have a smartphone or tablet, you have a communicator, a navigator, a word processor, a movie theater, and perhaps most fun of all, a gaming console. Apple devices that run under the iOS operating system are no exception. So for today's TUG meeting, we will be discussing accessible games that run on iOS. These games may be different types of games, such as basic board and card games that can be played alone, or massive multiplayer role-playing games that can be played online, either with or against other players. But they all have one thing in common. They are all accessible to anyone who is blind or vision impaired that uses iOS's VoiceOver screen reader. The first game we are going to play and discuss is a recent title called Asthma Quest. It used to be available only on Android, but recently, back in April of this year, it was released on iOS. It is an RPG game that can be played both on and offline. It's a text-based game that follows a story. And just be warned that some of the language in the game can be a little vulgar, so discretion advised.
Page 1 of 1. Adjust. Showing app library. App library. Search field.
So I'm going to go in my app library, and I'm going to go to the search bar.
App library. Search field. Search field is editing. App library. In A. C. C. M. M. Shift. A. A. R. R. Asthma. 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 Asthma is loading.
So
Asthma has loaded. Luann. Female cleric level 11. Select her to reveal her panel. Button.
So when you first open the game, it takes you to where you last left off, or where you last played a character, either online or offline. Since the last character I played was in the online mode, I am taken to the online character selection screen. You can have, if you have the premium mode enabled, which you can either pay for a month or for a lifetime subscription, you can get up to 4 characters to create.
Back. Asthma website link icon. Image. Glow. Jafaria. Female witch level 20. Select. Luann. Female cleric level 11. Coco. Female warrior level 5. Beltiel. Female archer level 5. Select her to reveal her panel. Button.
So as you can see, I just swiped through all the characters that I have created in the online mode. So besides doing that,
no character selected. Asthma Discord link icon. Image.
We also have a bunch of social network links to the developer of this game.
Asthma Reddit, Asthma Facebook link, Asthma YouTube link icon, Asthma TikTok link icon, heading not found. Asthma Reddit link icon, Asthma Facebook link icon, Asthma YouTube link icon.
As well as some buttons that will take us to the previous page, as well as allow us to purchase the premium mode.
Premium. Back.
So I'm going to go back.
Continue.
And for the sake of demonstration, I am going to show you the offline mode.
Play offline. Limited. No character selected.
Okay, so because I didn't create any characters in the offline mode, it says no character selected. I'm going to find the add button.
Create a new character in the slot 1 button.
Well, it just says create a new character in slot 1. I'm going to click on that.
Text field.
First, I'm going to type in a name.
Insertion point at end. J. I. O. M. L. Delete.
Oh, come on.
L. O. O. E. R. R. S. F. D. D. A. A. N. N.
All right. First, I typed in the name, which is Jordan. I don't know why I chose that name. That's just the name of it.
Select male warrior as your class button.
So you have up to 4 character classes. You can have a warrior.
Return.
Okay, let's get rid of the keyboard. Let's hit return to get rid of the keyboard. Okay, so
select male warrior as your class.
You
button.
have a warrior,
Select male cleric as your class.
A cleric.
Button. Select male warlock as your class. Button.
If you're a male, it's a warlock. If you're a female, it's a witch.
Select male archer as your class.
And an archer. As well as being able to change your gender.
Warrior. Male character. Female character selection. Button.
So I think I'm going to keep him as a... No, actually, let's make him a warlock.
Select male warlock as your class. Button. Select male warlock as your class. Confirm.
Then I'm going to go use my Explorer Touch to go near the bottom right corner to hit confirm.
Alert. Invalid name.
Why is it invalid? Oh, wait. Did I not capitalize the J?
Close. Button.
They're very particular on how they want the names.
Close.
They want the
Button.
character names.
Text field. Jordan.
Which can be a little annoying sometimes. Just putting it out there.
Delete. N-A-D-D-R-O. J. Shift.
Yeah, no, I did not capitalize the J. All right, let's try this
Cap J.
again.
O-O-R-R-S-D-D-A-A-N. N. Return.
And then
Return.
return,
Confirm.
and then confirm.
Do you want to confirm your male warlock character?
Yes,
Confirm.
we got a podcast to do. Let's do this.
As for website link.com. Image.
All right, and then after you create your character, it takes you back to this character selection, and then
Jordan. Male warlock level 1.
you can double tap the character,
Jordan panel has been revealed below.
and it tells you that the panel for your character has been revealed below, and it's going to give you the information, basic information about your character, such as well as a little bit of buttons, such as the fact that
Jordan
the
level 1.
class and the gender,
Up arrow.
your level,
Delete. Enter.
as well as the delete button and the enter button. So we're going to hit enter, and then we're going to start the game.
Jordan less than no title greater than level 1 class warlock goal 0 exp 0/150 dishonor 0 gear score 0/100 skill score.
Okay, so right now we are on the profile, on our character profile screen, and there are a number of things that we can do here, but not while we're at the beginning of the game, because there's not much to do except go to the story mode. So we're going to go to the story mode by using the tab bar that's on the bottom edge of the screen, or as the game calls them, slides. But it's basically the same layout as a tab bar. So
Go to
What
story
the-
mode slide. Image.
oh, come on.
Go to shop slide. Go to story mode slide. Image.
That was not the game. That was a song I was playing earlier. So, so,
Go to shop slide. Image.
so from left to right, the tabs are, or slides are, shop tab,
Story mode.
story mode,
Go to story mode. Go to profile slide. Image.
profile
Go to
slide,
battle mode slide. Image.
and battle
Go
mode
to extra
slide,
options slide.
and
Image.
extra options. So, there you go. So now I'm going to use my Explorer Touch
Start story.
to hit the Start Story button.
Prologue. Your parents died under mysterious circumstances.
So this is a very story heavy game, and even though the story does change depending on the things that you do within the story, the story does follow the the game is very story heavy, and certain events will happen whether you like it or not. It's basically kind of like a choose your adventure book, basically, but it's a little more interesting and a little more fun.
At least you were wise. Your Jordan. Prologue. Your Jordan. The son of the king of Asmer.
So right now we're on the prologue, or basically the first chapter of the... Well, not the first chapter. It's an actual prologue. You're Jordan, the son of the king of Asmer.
At least you were once, because at 10 years old. Your parents died under mysterious circumstances.
Ooh. At least you were once, except for your parents died and you were 10 years old. Serious
After your
circumstances.
parents' death, your uncle became king. He made you study as a mage and neglected you.
A mage? But the thing said... Oh, right, whatever.
Today, 15 years later, and for the first time, your uncle, the king of Asmer, seeks your audience. Click to continue. Asmer, map.
Okay, so it just gave us some introductory... It gave us some introductory story text. And then now we're in the story menu. And on this screen,
Map.
on every story menu screen, there will always be at least 3 controls: the map button, the mission button, and the menu, and the go back to main menu button. Depending on which chapter you have, there might be more options in the story menu, but that's basically it. So let's see.
Main menu.
Let's click on the mission button.
Asmer. Mission. Asmer. Mission. Mission. A meeting with the king. Cross mark. Speak with the king of Asmer. Mission reward. 0 experience. 0 gold. 0 undefined. Back. Mission reward. Back. Asmer. Map. Mission. Main map.
Okay, so that's a tutorial mission that teaches us basically the game mechanics.
Heading not found. Map. You are watching the map. Where are you going? King's Castle.
So now we clicked on the map, and then we're going to choose to go
King's Castle.
to the castle, since it said anyway in the prologue that he wants to talk to us. So
King's Castle. King. Hello, Jordan. It has been so long. I called you because I need help from you. A new tavern has opened in town. However, I suspect they're involved in criminal activities. Can you investigate if they are plotting something? Speech bubble. Sure, uncle. For Asmer. Speech bubble. I'm not sure. Why are you asking me now?
okay, so there are 2 speech items that we can choose from.
Speech bubble. Sure, uncle. For Asmer. Button. Speech bubble. I'm not sure. Why are you asking me now? Button.
So basically, it's all up to you how you respond to different prompts. You just basically double tap.
Information source. Your enthusiasm has impressed the king. The reward for the next mission has increased. The reward for the next mission has... Asmer. Map.
Sometimes it depends. Sometimes the story will change slightly depending on what you say. Sometimes the things you can choose to say are for fun and they don't really change anything. But basically, that's the game. There are different things to do besides the story. Well, there are different things to do outside of the story. For example, if you play online, you can do battles with other players, or you can do a dungeon exploration, and then there are some elements of stories that you cannot participate in until you're a certain level. So once you reach level 2, you can use the training grounds, which can be accessed from the story mode tab.
Onto typing. Cancel.
Hush. So once you reach level 2, you can go to the training grounds, which are accessed in the story mode tab. And to get out of story mode, again, in that story menu, you would just hit
Main menu. Main menu.
the main menu button,
Chapter
and then
0.
you were taken back to the story mode slide, which again, or the story mode tab, whatever you want to call it.
Weekly quest. Requires LV. Wanted battles. Require LVL 30.
And there are a bunch of different options besides doing the actual story. You
Chapter
can
0.
do extra. You can do mini missions. Excuse me. You can do mini missions, but those are not accessed until chapter 2. Those ones are random. Those are random, and they have nothing to do with the story. But basically, if you don't feel like training to level up, the mini missions, they sometimes help you get to a level that you want to go, that you need to be to in order to continue the story. And they give you other power-ups such as extra gold and extra XP and extra honor or dishonor, which is another type of currency used in this game. If you do good things in a story, like sparing the bad guys, you earn honor. Or if you do things like, if you don't feel like dealing with any trouble, instead of sending the bad guys to jail, you kill them, then you get dishonor. And then whenever you need to heal, besides using potions during battles, when you're not in battle, you can go to the clinic and have the doctor heal you. So that's basically Asmer. You can download it from the App Store, and as always, all the links will be provided. But the name of the game is Asmer, Azmar. The next game we're going to play is Lords and Knights. Now, Lords and Knights is an an MMORPG game that basically takes place over the internet and that can be played with multiple people. You can form alliances, or you could fight against fellow players. It's a castle management game. So basically, you do things that are in the best interest of your castle, as well as trying to conquer other people's castles. So I'm going to use Siri to open it. Open Lords and Knights.
It doesn't look like you have an app named Lords and Knights.
Yeah, because the offloading feature, I haven't really played it in a while, so.
Search the App Store.
All right,
Search
let's
the App
go.
Store. Search result. Redownload button. Loading. 3%, 6%, 13%, 20%. Lords and Knights. Mobile artwork. Lords and back button.
Yep. So just wait for it to re-download. Okay.
Open button.
So it's done downloading. So I'm gonna open it.
Open. App Store. Back button. Lords and Knights. Enter world button.
So we're gonna hit the Enter World button.
Enter world. Buildings button. Needs. Welcome gift. Needs. Welcome gift. 1. Reward. Goal. 250. Close. But register button.
So that's something that you can get.
Close button. Close.
Some things in the game are free, some things in the game are not. So just be aware that like most games and RPGs, there are things in Lords and Knights that help pass the time along and make your life a little bit easier. And in most cases, you can play games without these things, but they basically, again, they make you have an easier experience. But they do cost not game money, but real money. So just keep an eye out on that.
Buildings button.
Okay, so
Key. Upgrade level 3 button. Image.
So here we are on the castle screen, and on the castle screen, you have a map of the world. Well, not a map of the world, but a map of your castle. And basically, you can either...
Library. Upgrade level 3. Arsenal. Upgrade level 3. Market. Upgrade level 3. Button.
You can either swipe through the map of your castle,
Buildings.
or you can go to the top left corner and hit the buildings button,
Buildings.
and it will give you a vertical list of all your buildings.
Key. Upgrade level 3. Upgrade button. Arsenal. Upgrade level 3. Upgrade button. Tavern. Upgrade level 3 button.
And this allows you to quickly jump to or upgrade your buildings without having to open. If all you want to do is upgrade buildings, then you can just hit the upgrade button beside a building without having to open its page.
Upgrade. Library. Upgrade level 3. Upgrade. Fortifications. Upgrade level 2. Upgrade. Market. Upgrade level 3. Upgrade. Resource buildings. Heading. Farm. Upgrade level 7. Upgrade. Lumberjack. Upgrade level 7. Upgrade. Wood store. Upgrade level 7. Upgrade. Quarry. Upgrade level 5. Stone store. Upgrade level 7. Button. Or line. Upgrade level 5. Upgrade. Or store. Upgrade level 6. Button.
Yep, so there you go. And of course, different castles within your building do different things. For example, your arsenal. Hush. For example, your arsenal will let you upgrade hire soldiers and other mercenaries that help you either keep the castle safe or conquer others, either conquer fellow players' castles or unoccupied castles, or, well, let's say vacant castles, because they are both within the game. So, and then the library, that's a building where you can do different research tasks that bring new technologies and capabilities to your castle. For example, different types of soldiers. Let's say if you wanted to have like soldiers on horseback, I forget what they're called, I think cavalry, then you would do a research project. You would do a research skill on that one. So let's see.
3:31 p.m.
Basically, to use a building's resource or capabilities, you would basically
library upgrade level 3.
You can basically click on it. So let's say do a double tap on the library.
Selected. Available. Button.
And let's see. And you also notice that it also has sound effects too. It also has background music. I have that turned off, but there you go.
Selected. Longbow. Enables. Archer. Button.
Yeah.
Crop rotation. Enables. Farm level 15. Research. Dim. Button. Yo. Enables. Farm level 25. Research. Cellar storeroom. Enables. Farm level 30. Button. Research. Dim. Button. Selected. Stir. Enables. Armored horseman. Button. Weaponson. Enables. 5% attack. Research. Button. Yeah, so basically, again, like I said, whatever research project you do in the library becomes a new capability for your castle. Bar castle. Back button. Bar castle. Tab bar. Messages. 2/0. Tab 3.
You can also send and receive messages from different players, from the players and from the lords and knights staff.
Selected. Castle. Map. Tab 2 of 5.
So besides your castle map and controls, there's also
loading new data. Tab bar. Castle. Tab 1 of 5.
There's also the map of the world or kingdom that your castle is in, and you can swipe through.
Free castle 49,906. Points 40. Castle. Region. Cherno. Neutral. 2 fields to Queen's Crown. Button.
And that's the name of my castle is Queen's Crown. So it's telling me that it is 2 fields to my castle. So it's a nearby castle. So it's close enough for me to conquer. Well, wait a minute. I don't know. Maybe. Well, let's just say conquer for now. I don't know if it counts as a conquer if the castle's vacant, which it is. But let's just say for all intents and purposes, conquer.
Tab alliance. Tab 4 of 5. Profile.
Okay, let's hush.
Crown. Button. Wood. 748. Stone.
Yep, there's also the button that centers your map cursor back on your castle.
Profile. 3/0. Tab 5 of 5. Selected.
And see what else you can do.
Exchange off. Ruby. Sapphire. Upgrade level 1. Player statistics. Achievements. Amount of castles. 2. Landlord I. Next rank. 1. Amount of castles. 2. Player rank. Achievements. Button.
There's also your achievements.
Completed. July 17, 2023. Collector. 100 missions carried out. 7/23. Total achievements completed. Back button. Back button.
Okay.
Get 30% battery power. Close. Button. Amount of castles. Player achievements. Goal. 51. Player statistic. Global exchange office. Upgrade level 1. Ruby. Sapphire. Emerald. Hall of Fame. Task and event list. 3/10. Button.
Tasks and events. There we go. That's what it's not. It's not achievements. It's tasks and events. So basically, anything you do in the game.
Warning signs. Tasks. Warning sign. Storage buildings at level 6. Accept. Warning sign. Tavern on level 2. 1. Accept. Warning sign. Reach 75 points. Accept. Tab bar. Castle. Tab. 1 of 5.
So basically, anything I do in the game that is in the task and event list, it'll give you like little tasks that'll help you stay on task in the game. And whenever you do that, you can hit the accept button next to the task and it'll give you rewards. However, there is a caveat. You can only accept so much reward based on the size of your inventory. So if you don't have enough inventory room, so as you heard in my task list, my inventory is full or almost full, or so any task rewards that will not be able to fit into your inventory will have the warning sign or the warning message whenever you highlight it. So yeah, basically that's Lords and Knights. Lords and Knights is a castle managing game. You can play with people, you can play against people, but basically everybody tries to manage their castles, gain new castles, and try to keep their castles from they conquer castles and they try to keep their castles from being conquered. It is very accessible. Everything in the game, as far as I've seen, and is properly labeled. I've never had any, for as long as I've played the game, I've never had any accessibility issues. There are also the same people, the same developers that make Lords and Knights also made 2 other games that are accessible and have the same UI layout as Lords and Knights. There is Celtic Tribes, which is basically where you manage a Celtic village with the same things of, it's an MPG, not an MPG. Why do I keep saying MPG? It's a multiplayer game. It's a role-playing game. It's another resource and village resource/kingdom managing game where you have to keep tabs on your kingdom. You try to keep you conquer other people's kingdoms and you try to keep your kingdom from being conquered. And there's also another game called Crazy Tribes, and that one is basically an apocalyptic a settlement during the apocalypse, and the same rules apply. Both Lords and Knights and Celtic Tribes have background music and sound effects. Crazy Tribes is text and graphics only. So that is basically it for Lords and Knights. So let's move on to our next pick. Now we're going to check out a game called Sortie Quest. Sortie Quest is an exploration and adventure game that is played offline and is single player. It has some multiplayer elements like PvP battles and clans, but most of those features take place in the Game Center feature of iOS, and the majority of gameplay is single player. Open Sortie Quest.
Actions home. Sortie Quest Adventurer Level 2 is in grassland with an Avalon throne. What next? Craft a wooden bow to hunt enemies for leather.
Okay, so I am on player 2, and when I open the game, I am given a menu of tasks that I can do. So let's see. So right now, I only am able to gather from the grassland location that I'm located at. So I am going to press gather. So now I am given a small map of resources in the location that I am at. There are different locations. There are trees that I can gather wood and branches from. There are rocks that I can get flint, metal, and stone from. There's a water square, and the shrubs you can grab berries from. And then there are the grass squares. There's nothing there but grass. And you don't use grass for anything. So I'm going to pick one of these squares to gather, and I am going to press and hold.
Gather, branches 5, wood 5, hold shrub to gather a vertical 1, horizontal 2, button. Gather, berries 3.
And voiceover, there's a sound effect that lets you know when you're done. There are also some haptic feedback. And voiceover also tells you when you're finished and how much you got.
Hold shrub to gather a vertical 1.
So basically, you pick a resource tile, and then you press and hold it until you're finished gathering from that tile.
Gather, berries 5. Hold trees to gather a vertical 1, horizontal 4, button. Gather, branches 6, wood 6. Hold trees to gather a vertical 1, horizontal 5, button. Gather, branches 7, wood 7. Hold shallows to gather a vertical 2, horizontal 1, button. Gather, water 4. Hold trees to gather a vertical 2, horizontal 2, button. Gather, branches 3, wood 3. Hold trees to gather a characters. Hold trees to gather a vertical 2, horizontal 3, button. Gather, branches 5, wood 5. Hold shrub to gather a vertical 2, horizontal 4, button. Gather, berries 5. Hold shrub to gather a vertical 2, horizontal 5, button. Gather, berries 5. Hold trees to gather a vertical 3, horizontal 1, button. Gather, branches 7, wood 7. Hold trees to gather a vertical 3, horizontal 2, button. Gather, branches 5, wood 5.
Okay, so I'm going to stop gathering for now.
Return to action homepage, button.
And I'm going to return to the main menu, or as the game put it, the action homepage. I'm going to press the back button, which is in the top left corner.
Spirit guide appears saved. You leveled up and are now level 3. Close spirit guide, button.
Alrighty, so there we are. It says that we leveled up to level 3, and then there we go.
Gather. Give.
Oh, you also get a daily gift every 24 hours.
Thank you, Adventurer, for continuing to play Swordy Quest regularly. You have been gifted. Cactus fruit 43, silver coins 30, golden gems 1. More gifts every day. A gift for Adventurer. Heading.
Nice.
Actions homepage. Back settings. Actions homepage.
Okay, so now near the top of the home page, there is a suggestion.
Quest Adventurer level 3 is in grassland within Avalon Throne. What next? Craft a wooden boat to hunt enemies for leather. Heading.
So at the top of the action homepage, there is a suggestion or a hint on how to progress, how to continue through the game, which they come in handy if you're kind of stuck and you don't know where to go next. And they come in handy if you're a newbie.
Tab 3 of 5.
So let's go to the crafting tab.
Craft. One item. Crafting page. Wooden bow. Allows hunting for leather and meat. Resources required. 38 owned and this item needs 15 wood. Also, not enough resources to craft a wooden bow. You own 0 of these.
So
Wooden cloth. Increases your base stealth by 10. Rose 5 to 9 of 11.
So
Rose 9 to 11 of 11.
what can
Rose 9 to
I?
11 of 11. Rose 5 to Rose 2 to Rose 1 to 2 of 11.
Okay, so
Actions. Tab. Actions homepage.
I can't craft anything right now, so I'm going to go back to gathering.
1. Horizontal 1. Button. Gathering. Berries 5.
So now we're going to go back to the crafting page.
Crafting page.
Page, tab, whatever you want to do. And let's see what we have.
Wooden bow. Allows enough resources to craft wooden bow. Craft a wooden bow.
Yay! Now we can craft our bow, and then I'm going to show you how to hunt. Okay?
Return to action homepage.
Yeah, that's also a factor. Depending on your level, will be the things that you can do and craft.
Return to action homepage.
Alright, so we're gonna hit back. Oh, so now you can see there's another option on our main menu or our home page. There is the hunt button. So we're gonna click on that.
Choose where to hunt. Shots often have the weakest prey.
Okay, so now it's going to give us a map of resources, or let's see, of tiles that we can pick to hunt prey in. So it said at the top of the page that shrubs have some of the weakest prey. So let's pick.
Shot. Shot. Adventurer sees a devil like undefeated in. Level 1. Appears scampering erratically. Tap to speed. Button. Tap to speed.
Okay, so here we are on our prey page. And the first thing we're going to do is that we're going to try to sneak up on our prey so we can shoot it instead of having to do a melee fight at close range. So there is going to be a sound and some haptic feedback. And we're going to have to get as close to the target as we can to sneaking. Yay, so I was able to sneak him, but now I only have a 66% chance of shooting him without missing. Yay, I won. Yay. So I just got an achievement of my first hunt. And so I have the option of sharing it if I wanted to. Like to other people that might play the game or things like that. So I'm going to close this page. So I got some meat and I got some leather. So depending on the weapon that you use to battle, it'll reward you if you use the correct kind of weapon for the correct kind of enemies. So I don't have any weapons, so I guess it rewarded me for that. So I'm going to hit that.
Actions homepage.
So I built the bow, so let's see what the suggestion or the hint is now.
Sortie Quest Adventure Level 3 is in Grassland. What next? Craft a map to find where you are. Using leather from hunted enemies. Heading.
Okay, so the next suggestion is that I hunt enough that I can make things such as a map out of leather. And then it's going to continue so on and so forth, and things are going to get more advanced and more advanced. So the first thing is that I would have to create a map so I can see out of my grassland area, which is where you start the game out on. And then after that, spoiler alert, you would create some boots. And then you'll be able to travel around the map and go to different resource tiles and different areas. So, yeah, let's do some more gathering.
Gather. Hold down items. Hold show to gather a vertical 1. Hold trees to gather a vertical 1. Horizontal 2. Button. Gather. Branch. Hold trees to gather a vertical 1. Horizontal 2. Button. Hold trees to gather a vertical 1. Horizontal.
What the? Oh, okay. I guess I just went too far at the bottom of the screen since I have a new phone that does not have a home button. So there you go. So anyway, that's basically Home Quest. It's a fun game. There's different elements to it. There's crafting, there's gathering, there's exploration and adventure. And it's basically a mystery game. You're trying to figure out where you are and why you are and what happened. basically this big mystery that you're going around this big world or these different kingdoms trying to collect different pieces of the story. And I think it's an interesting concept. I think it's a lot of fun. The only problem I don't like is that there is no cloud saving in this game. So basically, if anything happens to your phone, like if you reset or if you have to re-download the game for some reason, there's no cloud save like some of the other games that we looked at. Well, obviously, Lords and Knights, because that one takes place online anyway, there doesn't have to be any cloud saving. Asmer, the online mode, same goes for the online mode of Asmer, so there's the option of cloud saving for that for the offline mode, but then the online mode, that doesn't really matter since you're playing online anyway. But Sortie Quest does not have cloud saving, so if anything happens, like I said, then basically you have to start all over again. And it doesn't matter how far you are in the game, which can get pretty frustrating sometimes. But other than that, I think it's a fun game. Hush. Okay, so let's check out Dice World. Dice World is a multiplayer game that is played over the internet that has multiple games in one that involve dice. Things like Farkle and Yahtzee and Pig and Threes. All kinds of games. Some you may have heard of, some you may not. You can play with your friends, you can play with people you haven't met. There are different ways to find a new person to play with, such as the Smart Match feature or the Queue feature. Or you can directly go to one of your friends' profiles and play with them. So,
4 of 4 bars. Signals.
Let me open it. Open Dice World.
Updating complete. Your turn. 2 games. Heading.
Okay, so here we are in Dice World. So it just gave us some information that I have 2 games going. So let's explore the home screen as a whole, or mostly as a whole.
Tournaments. Button.
Yeah, so you can join tournaments.
New game. Button.
New game, which is pretty self-explanatory. You can start a new game in a number of ways.
Social Center. Button.
Social Center, that's where you can hang out and talk to people.
Your turn. 2 games. Heading.
That
Actions
one's a
available.
heading, and that's the section where you can rejoin one of the games that you either started or joined.
Bonus Pig with Pig _ expert. 1, 4, 24 with Lloyd. They score 23.
Okay, so those are my 2 games, and one of the games I was playing with a fellow user, and the other game I was playing with one of the NPC users, which stands for non-player character, or in other words, against the computer, or against one of the computer's characters.
Recent games. Heading.
And then there's recent games.
Pig with Lil Tay 20. Rematch. Button. Pig with Lil Tay 20. Rematch. Bottom section. User profile. Medals. Button. Stats. Leaders. Game settings. Button. Help. Help. Button.
So that's a tab bar.
New game. Button.
So let's, for all intents and purposes, start a new game.
Back. Button. Play. Invite friends. Send a text invite to someone.
So you can invite one of your friends.
Play character. Some of them are pretty funny.
Play a character.
Smart match. Have us choose a random opponent for you.
Smart match.
Game queue. Get matched against someone looking to play the same game.
Game queue, where basically you wait in line for the next available person that wants to play the game that you want to play.
Username. Search for a player by their username.
And there's that. You can type in somebody's username.
Previous opponent. Challenge a previous opponent.
And then previous opponent.
Tutorials. Take a quick tutorial.
Which is pretty self-explanatory. Tutorials, which is pretty also self-explanatory. Any game that you want to learn, you can just pick it in the list, and the game and Dice World will teach you how to play it.
Practice your dice skills.
And practice your dice skills. That one that's single player, and you basically, it's a practice round that doesn't mean anything. It doesn't add any XP or points to your profile or anything like that. It's just for practice.
Practice. Practice your dice skills. Play character. Subgroup. Rows 1 to 8 of 8. Top of screen. Dice world.
Okay. So
Smart match. Have us play character. Some of them are...
So let's see how to... We're going to do two things. We're going to play a character. Then we are going to play a game with one of the other users.
Invite friends. Invite friends.
No,
Text field.
I don't want to do that.
Mode. Cancel. But 2. Cancel. Button. Cancel. Invite friends. Send play character. Some of them are pretty funny. Bad. Button. Lloyd. I got words. Dice player. Can you beat the player? Dice player.
Dice player.
Lloyd. I got words.
Okay, so these two are unlocked for me because I'm at level 2, but the rest of them I won't be able to play until I reach higher levels.
Unlocked at level 3. Conan. Unlocked at level 14. Gretchen. Unlocked at level 16. Ron. Unlocked at level 18. Black Widow. Unlocked at level 20.
And so on and so forth. So let's go pick up the list. And since I already have one with Lloyd.
Gaming. Image. Status bar item. Gaming. Rows 1 to 8 of 13.
Let's go to Dice
Dice
Player.
Player. Rows 1 to 8 of 13. Dice Player. Can you beat the player? Select alert. Choose game.
So I'm going to choose.
Yahtzee. Pin. Button. Threes. Button.
Let's do threes.
0.
Threes is an interesting game. It's basically... The object of the game is to get the lowest instead of the highest score. And the only number that is worth no points is the number 3. But there are other stipulations too. If you get like all 4s, 5s, and 6s, it's a certain amounts, and I forget which ones are subtracted from your score. So let's see. I'm going to roll the dice.
Roll. Button. Roll. Dim. 2, 5, 6, 3, 3. 3. Button.
I'm going to pick 2 of these 3s.
Bank score 3. Button. Bank score is 0. Roll. Button.
And of course, because I held 2 of the 3s and didn't hold any other dice, so far my banking score is 0.
Roll.
But obviously I can't turn in that score until I've rolled all 5 of the dice.
Roll. Dim. 3, 4, 3.
Okay.
3. Button.
Maybe I'll get lucky and get all 3s, because the only thing that I've gotten so far is a 4. So let's see.
3. Button. Bank score 3. Button. Bank score is 0.
Okay, so far I've got 4 3s and a 4. So let's roll that 4 and let's hope that I get another 3. And then I can have a score of 0.
Roll. Button. Roll. Dim. 6.
6. Boo!
6. Button. Bank
Oh,
score is
well.
6.
So,
Roll. Dim. Button.
it's better than nothing. So
Select all. Bank 6.
let's bank this 6.
Bank. Dim. Dice fly rolling. Bank score is 2. Bank score is 2. Bank score is 6. Your turn.
Oh,
2.
okay.
6 to 6.
So for the first round, it's
Roll.
a tie. I got 6 and he got 6. Now, keep in mind that this is going to go relatively fast because this is a computer player. But depending on who you're playing with, it might take a while for them to take their turn. Yeah, you might want to keep playing the whole day, or not the whole day. You might want to play the game and keep it going, but then it might take some people a while to take their turn. So, yeah.
Roll. Roll. Dim. 4, 3, 1, 6, 4.
All
3.
right,
Button.
so I'm going to take one more turn, and then we're going to look at going into the queue.
Bank score is 0. Roll. Button. Roll. Dim. 4, 1, 1, 2. 1. Button.
I'm going to keep one of these ones.
Bank score is 1. Roll. Button. Roll. Dim. 2, 2, 1. One, button.
Another one.
Bank score is 2. Roll. Button. Roll. Dim. 1, 6.
Another
1.
one.
Button. Bank score is 3. Roll. Button. Roll. Dim. 1. 1. Button. Bank score is 4. Roll. Select all. Bank 4. Button. Band. Dim. Dice ply rolling. Bank score is 2. Bank score is 2. Bank score is 7. Bank score is 11. Your turn.
Ooh.
Round 3. 10 to 17. Roll. Button.
Okay, so now we're going to join a game via the gaming queue. So we're going to hit back.
3s with back. Button. Back. Updating complete. New game. Button. Back. Button. Play character. Smart map. Game queue. Get matched against someone looking to play the same game. Choose a queue. Heading. Baloo. Button.
So let's see, we have Farkle, Yahtzee, Balut, Pig,
Threes.
3s,
1. 4. 24.
and 1 for
Bonus.
24.
Heading. Allow bonus rolls by both players. Switch button. On.
And there's the toggle for allow bonus rolls. Let's say if you were playing Pig and you got a 1, which is invalid, which it makes your banking score invalid. Then if you didn't want to lose your turn and you wanted to get rid of that 1, it would give you an opportunity to re-roll the dice and get something other than a 1. I'm going to keep the bonus rolls on for all intents and purposes, and let's play Farkle.
Farkle. Button. Choose a Pig. Button. Farkle. Button. Searching. Farkle bonus with Dreamy 2. Heading.
Okay, so it already found somebody for me, so I'm going to take my turn.
Roll. Button. Roll. Dim. 3. 4. 6. 5. 4. 3. Possible move. 5. Button. Turn score is 50. 50 of hell. Roll 5 dice. Button.
Okay, so...
Roll. Dim. Farkle.
Dang
Bonus
it!
roll. Button.
I got a Farkle.
Bonus roll. Button. Bonus roll. 2. 5. 6. 6. 2. 6. Possible moves are 1 5 plus 50. 3 6s plus 600. Roll. Dim. Select all. Button. Select all. Select all.
Whatever.
5. Button. Turn score is 100. 106. Button. Turn score is 100. 106. Button. Turn score is 100. 100 if held. 6. Button. Turn score is 700. 700 if held. Roll 2 dice. Button.
So I am going to bank this.
Select all. Bank 700. Button. Banned. Bonus rolls awarded. You just won today's award of play next game. Button.
Okay. So whenever it's not your turn, there will be a button that replaces the roll and bank that'll move you to the next game quickly so that you don't have to go back to the home page.
Pig bonus with pig_expert. They will get the final roll. Heading.
Okay, so this is a game that I already played earlier. So because I pressed the play next button, it took me down the list. So let's see. This one is also a game
Excellent
I
quality
played.
with big discounts. Timu. Link.
Okay, those are ads. Like most games, it has ads. It has ways to get rid of ads, among other bonuses that cost real money. So it's always good to be careful of that, to make sure you know what you're doing and keeping track of yourself when you are spending real money on some of these games, because some of this stuff can kind of be addicting. And I wonder at times if they do that on purpose to keep people playing. But yeah, just make sure you're watching yourself and watching the amounts that you spend on some of these games.
Roll. Button. Roll. 2. Turn score is 2. 45. Roll. Button. Roll. 2. Turn score is 4. 47 if held. Roll. Pig. Bonus roll. Button. Bonus roll. 2. Turn roll. Button. Bank 6. Button. Roll. Button. Roll. 6. Turn score is 12. Bank 12. Button. Bank 12. 55 to 72.
Okay,
Watch
there we
ad for a
go.
free bonus roll?
No, I don't want to watch any ads. Go away.
No. Button. No.
So I'm going to
Dim.
press
Updating complete. Dashboard.
no.
Heading. Your turn. 3 games. Heading. Actions available. Bonus Farkle with Dreamy 2. They scored 2.
Oh, looks like the Farkle person took their turn already. So let's see.
Farkle
Time
bonus with Dreamy
for
2.
the-
They will get the final roll.
I
Heading.
guess it's time for the second round.
Roll. Roll. Dim. 1. 3. 3. 1. 6. 6. Possible moves are 2 ones, plus 100 each, 3 pair. 1, button. Turn 3, button. Turn 3, button. Turn score is 100, 801, button. Turn 6, button. Turn score is 200, 9, 6, button. Turn score is 750, 1450 if held. Roll again, button. Roll, dim. 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1. Possible moves are 2 ones, plus 100 each, 3 pair. 3, button. Turn 3, button. Turns 4, button. Turn 4, button. Turn score is 750, 1, button. Turns 1, button. Turn score is 1500, 2200 if held. Roll again, button. Roll, dim. 4, 3, 3, 1, 2, 4. Possible moves are 1, 1 plus 100. 1, button. Turn score is 1600, 2300 if held. 11:41 a.m. Status bar item.
And besides playing against somebody or socializing in the social center, you can also send the person you're playing with private messages. You can send them both regular text and voice messages. So let's see where that
Your turn. They
is.
scored 500. Score is now 2300 to 700.
So
Back button. 2300 to 700.
let's see where that is.
Chat button.
And it's the chat button.
Chat back button.
So, for example, you can send them a text, a standard message. You can send them a voice message. Or if it's been a while since they've taken their turn, you can also nudge them, which that option is not available since we're moving fairly quickly through the Farkle game. So I'm just going to send them, for example,
Text field. Text field. H. I. Send button.
and then send.
Send. Dim. Back button. Farkle bonus with Dreamy 2. Back button. Back.
And that's
Updating
basically it for Dice World.
Dot.
It's your standard gaming platform. It's your standard online game. You can play games. You can play games. You can connect to people in a myriad of ways, and you can socialize both in public and with the people that you're playing with. It's very accessible, very responsive, very intuitive. I like it. Even though my favorite games are RPGs, every now and then I like to fool around with Dice World. Something fun to do, little bit time waster. And that's basically it for Dice World. Let's check out our next pick. Last but definitely not least, we will be taking a look at a game called HomeQuest. It's one of my personal favorites. HomeQuest is a offline single-player RPG that involves resource management. It is one of those games that is an idle game. Basically, all you have to do is hit a button to perform a task, and it'll be done in the background. So let's get started with HomeQuest. Open HomeQuest.
HomeQuest. Catching up. Ellipsis. Population 35.
Okay, so I'm already in a game, so for all intents and purposes, I am going to start a new cloud save.
More button. More. Population 30. Happiness level. Account button. Connect button. Account. Selected. Account.
Which I can do because I have the premium version of the game, which allows for cloud saving to their servers, among other things such as getting rid of ads.
Start button.
So we're going to
Please
pick
confirm.
one of these slots, and we're going to confirm that yes, we do want to start a new a new cloud save.
OK button. Population. Unlock. Millennium Edition. Town button. Town lock. Unlocked. Gold Edition.
So, depending on which edition of the game you have, you can get 3 to 9 cloud saves. Or if you don't have any premium versions of the game, you just play the game offline. Well, not offline because the game is offline anyway, but you play without cloud saves. So I'm going to go to the log tab, and I am going to go to near the top of the screen.
Start quest button.
And press the button that says Start Quest.
Start quest button. Start quest. Population 1. Cellular 4.
Okay, so let's take another look at the log, and it's going to...
Chapter I, Another Life. Welcome. You find yourself in an unknown place. Unsure of what these lands may hold. You decide it's best to grow your settlement. Hurry. Construct your first buildings. Assign workers and gather resources. Don't starve and build a fishery.
Okay, so it gives us some information about what happened. You find yourself in an unknown place, in an unknown land, blah, 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 and it's best to get a village started. So, not only is the text that was just spoken story text, but it's also quest objectives. So, the first quest in the game, or not so much as a quest because the game in itself is a quest. Well, let's just call it a task. So the first task in this game is to create a fishery. So we're going to go to the town tab.
Town button. Population 1.
And we're going to go.
Luxuries button.
So here we are in the town tab. And near the middle of the screen are some more tabs that have to do with the different kinds of buildings you can build. So when you first start out in the game, the only tabs that are available are the luxuries tab, which is where food is built, if you can believe that. Never knew that food was a luxury. Maybe it is to some people.
Culture button.
Culture.
Decorations button.
And decorations. So in the luxuries tab, we're going to find the sub tab that is the fishery
0.
Which, because the fishery is the only sub tab available in the luxuries tab at the start of the game, it's automatically highlighted. So
fishery.
We can either swipe through or use Explorer Touch.
0/20. 5. Wood. Increases seafood. Cap I. Increases. Farmers. Jobs by 1. Delete button. Build button.
Alright, so we're going to press or double tap the build button.
Build. Dim.
And we're going to wait a couple seconds. And it should be, let's see.
Culture button. Fishery 1 button.
Okay, so the fishery is built, but now we have to hire or assign people to work at our fishery that we just built. So now we're going to go to the ledger.
Ledger button. Population 1. Train button.
And
workers button. Tourists button.
There are some tabs in the ledger. There are some tabs in the ledger screen. There are tourists, which will be dealt with later in the game. I haven't gotten that far yet. And there are workers, which is the tab that is already highlighted. So there is only one person.
Farmers.
There is only one person, and there is only one job available. So we're going to press the train button.
Train button.
On the farmer.
Max. Reach. Dim.
And so we're going to wait. So let's see.
Farmers. 10%. Increases productivity 4. 0/14/10.
Okay, so he is
Farmers.
done.
100%. Increases productivity 4. 1/1.
So 1 out of 1 farmers have been assigned. So now we're going to go back to the log.
Log button. Population.
We created our fishery and we hired, or well, not so much hired, let's say assigned somebody to work at our fishery. So now we're going to hit the complete button, which will let the game know that we successfully completed the task.
Complete button. Complete. Population 1. Happiness level 0.
Well, not for long. You just have to wait for them to finish. We just have to wait for there to be some fish in the storehouse. So the quest or task was completed. So now we're going to get another task. And as we go through the game and as we complete more tasks, more things will need to be done. And as more things need to be done, more things will have to be more advanced tasks and more advanced resources will be available to us as it goes. So,
Chapter I. Looking ahead. Great work. You've proven the means to survive, but your settlement is still weak. First of all, we have to expand further. Build a few houses and shelter more inhabitants. Raise your population to 9.
And as an example, there we go. There were no houses in the town screen before we built the fishery, but now that we completed the fishery task, we are now able to build houses and expand upon this village. Since there's only one person in it, and I guess that the person is us, or you, or I, or whoever's playing the game, well, me, let's just say.
Town button. Houses button.
See that? Now we have a houses tab in our town screen.
Houses. House 1 button.
Okay, so again, the sub-tab, the houses sub-tab is the only sub-tab in the houses tab, or in the housing tab of the town screen. So we can just press build, and we are going to need to build 9 houses in order to complete this task.
Treasury button. Build button. Build. 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 Dim.
You can also tell the game to build simultaneous houses. They won't build them all at the same time, but they will form a queue or an order in which the houses will be built. They will be built one at a time, or let's just say stacked for all intents and purposes. But yeah, that is how Home Quest works. It's a game that it's an idle game that involves resource management. And again, as you complete more tasks, more refined and more advanced tasks and resources will become available to you. I think it's a really nice game. It's a really fun time waster. I spent many a minute or many a day playing the game. Now, HomeQuest does have some premium options, but it's a little different. It's not really like a play-to-win situation. It's more like getting expansion pack for the game so that it'll have more chapters to the story, and you can have more decoration packs and things like that, or more features. For example, like I said, the ability to do cloud storage for your different games and the ability to have multiple cloud saves. Right now, the most you can get, or the most recent expansion pack or premium pack, is Sun Edition. But there are other ones when the game started out, like they were like Ruby and Gold and things like that. But it's not really anything that would really take your money and keep taking your money, that you would wind up like a gambling man, just keep spending money on. Every so often they might update the game, and as they update the game, they come out with new features, new regular features, as well as new features that you can get if you update to a new premium pack or update to a new expansion pack. So it's not really much of a money hungry game. And that's kind of one of the reasons why I like it. Because games like Sortie Quest and Lords and Knights, like there are different things you can buy, like gold in Sortie Quest, that make things go faster if you spend gold, or in the case of Sortie Quest, gems that, again, if you can bypass processes that would normally be slow. But the problem is, like I said, they don't cost game money. They cost real green stuff or pounds or wherever you may reside. But they cost real money. So if you don't watch yourself, you might wind up like Oh, the good news is I made it to level 100 and something in Sortie Quest. The bad news is I can't pay my electric bill. So that's also a factor to be aware of whenever you're doing electronic gaming. So that concludes today's technology user group meeting, or at least for my part. I'd like to thank you all for joining, and I hope you all enjoyed yourselves and learned something new. So let's pass the buck on to someone else.
Well, I'm sorry that we have run a bit long today. So those of you who have your favorite game that you'd like to share, you may certainly do so at this point. But first, we must have the TUG theme song. So here we go. Here is the AI-generated TUG theme song for your enjoyment.
In Maryland's tech-savvy land of innovation, a group of minds with wisdom and elation. The technology user group, a shining light, brings knowledge to the people day and night. With meetings and events, they share their might. In forums and workshops, they ignite the passion for progress. They never tire and bring the future closer like a burning fire. Their expertise in tech, a treasure to behold, a wealth of knowledge young and old. From coding to AI, they dive and soar and make the complex simple once more. With every step, they pave the way for a brighter tomorrow today. In Maryland's tech scene, they shine so bright. The technology user group, a beacon of light. In Maryland's tech-savvy land of innovation, a group of minds with wisdom and elation. The technology user group, a shining light, bring knowledge to the people day and night. With meetings and events, they share their might. In forums and workshops, they ignite the passion for progress. They never tire and bring the future closer like a burning fire. Their expertise in tech, a treasure to behold, wealth of knowledge young and old. From coding to AI, they dive and soar and make the complex simple once more. With every step, they pave the way for a brighter tomorrow today. In Maryland's tech scene, they shine so bright. The technology user group, a beacon of light.
This has been a presentation of the Maryland State Library Agency. For links to additional resources provided by today's presenter, please visit the show notes. For more information on MSLA or the Maryland State Library for the Blind and Print Disabled, visit marylandlibraries.org.